right, so we survived another year of SIA, and there was only one rotational binding this year, which was really, really sad. I was hoping for like five, but that just didn't happen, unfortunately. Um, anyways, hey, we got someone in here. Can you hear me? How you doing? All right. So, it's 2019, or going to be soon enough, and Nitro is giving us a cannon quivered ride. That's a 173. It's a really big board. It's got swallowtail. And there's more companies making shit like that for next year. I'll have a whole video out actually from the trade show with everything that's going on, and you'll be able to see all that in the future. Let's see. Sorry about that. So see that the big trend for 2019 is it's much of the same shit that happened in 2018. More companies making surf shapes and refining stuff. Boot lines got tweaked a little bit to be a little more surfy. You're going to notice a little slightly shorter cuffs, stuff for snow surfing, more quiver style boards, more short, fat, little wide boards. Also going to notice that a lot of companies just refine their binding lines to try to compensate or to meld better with the whole snow surf thing that's going on. So you're going to get boards that are sitting on pods, just moving around, just having that lateral flex in there. A lot of companies actually just redid a bunch of their models, adding some tweaks to it. So for like Dinosaurs Will Die here, Sean Genovese doesn't really have a pro model anymore. He kind of gave it to the other guys on the team, and it went two ways. Like Matt Hennigan will have basically his old shape working on there. Is it? Jesus Christ, it's always fucking low. I don't understand. This is YouTube fucking with me. Always. Always fuck with me. So, anyways, yeah, Dinosaurs, Matt Hennigan will be, and then like Parker Duke. So there's two splits in the Geno model. The Geno model now going to the team guys. The Matt Hennigan will be what it was, and then like the Parker Duke one will actually have carbon fiber in it to make it a little more snappy. With LibTech, they just added a shitload of shapes. Travis Rice has a powder board. There's some other ones that are based off the MC Steptail, things like that. More carving boards coming from them. Battalion, they weren't at the trade show, but they were at the On Snow. And they've revamped 7 models and added some new ones. The biggest would be the Party Wave. If I can find a photo of that in here for you guys. Right there. The new Party Wave. Short and fat little carving board. Just, get out there, get surfy, have fun with it. Endeavor basically turned all their boards into centered bases and added 2 new models, so that's new. Salomon. This is the big one. They've added the S-Lab stuff to the boot line, so they are revamping all their boots. So you can expect to see that happening, that the boots are going to have an overhaul. They also overhauled Shadow Fit, and they've tweaked a few more board models. All right. GNU. The big thing with GNU that I want everyone to be aware of is, where is it? The Spam got tweaked. It's got a new tail shape, and they're also... They've killed off the Zoid, and they are offering up the Spasm. So it's like part Spam, part Zoid. Carving board, asymmetrical that way. Everyone's favorite snowboard company that's really good at selling skis, Rossignol, is bringing back their boot line. Some of it looks awful. Really, really awful, and some of it actually looks really, really good. They are going to send us a pair so Marcus can destroy them in the stunt ditch. Alright. Bent metal. They added 2 new models this year that are just a little bit more soft and surfy. So you got that going on. Let's see. Adidas does have new boots. I did not grab a catalog, and I will have a full video out that will actually have some of the Adidas stuff in there. They brought out the shell toe, and if you remember the year that Salomon released an Adidas boot, probably like 8-9 years ago, it looks exactly like that. So Adidas does have that, and tracksuit outerwear. Lots of tracksuit outerwear. Ride. Stop asking me snowboard questions. We're talking about next year's shit here. I answered that in another video. The big thing with Ride this year is they've actually expanded the War Pig into a whole line of pigs. So there's the Twin Pig, the All Mountain Pig, the Fat Pig, the Bar Pig. I don't know. Kevin had a hard on for it. So let's see if I can find. So there's the Mountain Pig, which is basically an alter ego without the split tail. That was kind of cool to see. They still made the Machete GT. This board fucking sucks. Still, sucks. So, let's see, where else is there? Oh, the bigger thing, with the War Pig, too, there's now an extra large size, so I assume that is for a man that is 7'3" with a size 28 foot. He might weigh 400 pounds as well. So there is that. This is the new Twin Pig right there. We'll be getting one of those to test out. And now, Nitro. I mean, this catalog is fucking huge. They did a lot of shit this year. And one of the cool things that they did is they brought back the Hazard. So for any of you guys that are over the age of 30, you might remember this board from the 90s if you did snowboard then. I'm trying to find a photo. There it is. So the Hazard, it's a 145, stiff as shit, and it's designed just to be ridden by a bigger guy. It's like a high-end jib board, so there's that. So there's that. Stop talking to me about my product reviews. We'll do that in another live stream. Okay. Rome. Yes, Nitro does have a clicker boot. Good observation, Kieran. So, Nitro licensed clicker from K2, and it is in the catalog. I really just don't even want to talk about it, because clicker is shit, and that's just all you need to know. The review of the Burton Step-Ons that I rode will be coming out next week. I will edit it on Saturday and should be up by Tuesday next week. Now we're going to talk about Rome. So, everyone's favorite little company from Vermont. And the big thing to note is the Rome Mod Rocker is not in the line anymore. The Camber one is still there. The Stale version is still there with their RK1 series. But there is a new board that kind of replaces the Mod Rocker, or grows on it, basically. But it's the Ravine right here. It is their 3D camber. It's actually really soft and playful. When I was flexing it and just messing around with it, you could really drive into it and just get a feel for it. So there was that. And they've got a new binding. Actually, I think they got two new bindings, if I remember correctly. There's the Crux. Where is it? Oh, the Crux. Yeah. So there is the Crux right there. And they revamped the Katana, actually. They overhauled that. There is going to be an Alec Ostrang agent. DC did not drop the Super Natin. It is still in the line. They added two new boards. Or no, one new board. It's just called the DC 156 or something like that. But the Super Natin is still in there. The graphic is absolutely fucking killer. It's every old graphic from the Super Nat put into one, and it kind of looks like a Wes Anderson graphic or thing, like especially if you've seen The Adventures of Steve Zissou in The Life Aquatic. So, oh yeah, then there is that Powder House board from DC too. I didn't grab a catalog from them. Um, with now, big thing is revamps in the straps, the high backs, and there is a Jones version of now coming out for next year. You will see that. Yes, is celebrating its 10 year. The big thing that you will see is they revamped the Greats, one of my personal favorite boards, and so it gets a whole new shape. Plus, if you're a fan of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures, you'll remember that Keanu Reeves had a patch that said "Save the Humans" on his legs, or on his one leg. So there's that. So this is all revamped for this year. Already talked to him. Should have one in another week to test. That's kind of the big thing with Yes. And then there is the new. There's the basic 10-year, or basic decade. So it's a little dark, but. That as well, just kind of celebrating 10 years of Yes, 10 years with that, so they'll do that. And for all you people that say the Now straps are slippery as hell, stop lubing them up. I don't know what you're talking about. Jones. They added a Mind Expander split, so for all you guys that hate chairlifts, they've got that going for you now. That is kind of the big thing with them. Few minor tweaks to construction. Nothing really crazy other than the Jones Now bindings. So they do have that going on. And, you know, for those of you that have seen Pole Plant the movie, there's some poles there for you. Oh, Mind Expander, hands down. Best board of the year. Fucking love that thing. I'd make sweet fuck to it if I could. So... they do have a POW Surfer this year, and I would like to find that if I can. Yeah, right there. So, Mountain Surfer. I want to drill it and put inserts on it and ride it. K2. Another ski company. So, they have new bindings this year. And first up is the lineup. And that's kind of just for being like carvy surf binding, you know, something that would go on the Cool Beam, the Party Platter, the Simple Pleasure, stuff like that. Then, where is it? There is... How'd it go? There's another one called the Formula C, but it's not in the catalog. Where the hell is it? It's usually in there. Anyways, so there's a new formula, which is called the Formula C, and that stands for carbon. It's a stiffer formula, and the lean actually got tweaked. So the 3-pod system on the bottom, like the 2 underfoot and the one under the heel. The one under the heel still has the pod, but it has a wider platform on it now to just give you a little more dampening and cushioning. Kevin says he hates that binding, so I will be reviewing that because he's a bitch. This is the Broadcast. That's another new one. That's kind of that all-terrain camber dominant quiver. And so we got that going on. And then there's the Manifest. And that's kind of like another all-terrain quiver, a little more directional camber setback so you can load it up with the back foot, drive it like that. And then there's the new one, the Overboard. So here's the Overboard. It only comes in a 165. Kevin actually tried it at the On Snow demo and said he liked it, so I can't wait to get it in about 2-3 weeks to go out and really try it. That's kind of really what's new with K2 on the guys' sides of things. There's some stuff from the women, which I only have 2% women that watch this, so I'm sorry, ladies. I just don't care. So there was that. Capta. Best graphic at the show was on the Ultra Fear, and you guys will see in just a second why. This is just an amazing graphic, and I loved it. So that was cool. They did a few tweaks to their construction on stuff. It wasn't really anything super mind-blowing that I saw that stuck out. I mean, the new Kazu looked good. Mercury graphic looked good. So it's very more subdued. I think all you rad dads that love this board will love that graphic. Union, on the other hand, has a new binding out called the Strata, and supposedly they said they're going to send us product to review, so we'll see. I think they realize it hurts them that we don't review it, but the Strata is kind of like that mid-flexing, all-mountain binding. It's just meat and potatoes. It was that. Scotty Stevens Pro Model binding looks really good, and the Travis Rice Felcor binding, I believe they tweaked the strap on it or the high back. It was one of those two. I can't quite remember. So there was that. Speaking of bindings, fixed bindings were there. Line is expansive this year, and they have winged high backs now. Let's see what else they got going on in here. I know Jason from them said he was going to send us a bunch. There's two versions of the Truce. So there's the regular Truce and the Park Truce, which will have a little bit more play in them. Academy Snowboards is still in business. Their boards are now being made at Never Summer. Yeah. Cambered Never Summers. That's the way you got to look at that. Venture. They added more split boards. Bigger story. Niche now has a powder board called the Ember, and it's sexy looking. That is a POW surfer through and through. It also has the recyclamine in it, which means it's one of the more environmentally friendly snowboards, and you can fully break it down when you're done with it instead of putting it in a landfill. I don't really care what you do with your snowboards when you're done with it. So there was that. Smokin' was not at the show, but I did run into Jay. He was roaming around with his pit bull, LeBron James. And basically, a couple new shapes. They slightly tweaked the Super Park. They've changed their construction yet again just to dial things in. Their geometries are a little more dialed in this year. He was on his way to Jackson, so he couldn't give me any boards, but I should be getting some from him. My guess is, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks. Cool thing, Christian Hosoi Pillow Monster. So it's got that Hosoi head on there. Christian Hosoi was all over the show with just different licensing. So there was the Hosoi Hammerhead from Smokin'. There's a Hosoi Hammerhead Highback collab with Flux. Did I get to fondle the Libtech Orca? Yes, I did. I stuck my fist up it. So there you go. Now we're going to talk about Flux. They've expanded their boot line in North America, which their boot line is pretty expansive over in Japan. But check it out. More Christian Hosoi. So there was that. And if you're a punk rocker, Pennywise. So there's a Pennywise collaboration there. There's also the Deus Ex and some guy that shapes surfboards. I don't even know who the fuck he is because I don't surf because I live in the mountains. But basically, Flux slightly refined the bindings a little bit, straps, ratchets, everything. You know, just constant progression working forward. So there was that. But the boot line was amazing looking this year. They really low-pro'd the soles on everything. So if you look at them, they don't look as beefy as they did for the first year run in North America, which was nice. And like looking at them, feeling them, they weren't heavy. They have great looking liners in there, Intuition foam, stuff like that. So they've got it. But I mean, that's a good looking boot right there. So kind of stoked to see what they're doing. Everyone's favorite company from Michigan, Marhar. Love those guys. They have 2 new boards this year that we need to talk about. The first is the Invasion, which is basically, I believe, the Half-Breed and the Regent combined, I think. I think that's what it is. I can't remember off the top of my head, and Nate will probably yell at me later. But super solid graphic, super good. that was nice. But the bigger story that I want to talk about is the Lumberjill. This is a 148 lumberjack for women, but with their custom in-house ability to make boards on any platform, you smaller-footed guys could order this off their website with the regular lumberjack graphic. And when I talked to Nate about offering this for guys, he was very keen on doing it. So I've always wanted a 48 lumberjack. I know a lot of other people have asked for it. So that's kind of the big story with them. And then, let's see, where is it? The Dark Side also got revamped for this year. They took a lot of feedback actually from Marcus from Ask a Black Snowboarder on how to tweak it, and they put carbon fiber X's in the tip so they get a little wider out at the tip, but they're narrower underfoot, giving you more snap. They just mellowed out a few little things on it, and Marcus said, and I quote, "Favorite board I rode at the On Snow." So we're getting one of those for him to go have a half pipe comeback, or maybe a mini pipe comeback. He's kind of old these days. So there was that. Other story. Nidecker and Flow. Everyone knows they got bought, but what people don't know is Flow will not be making boards or boots anymore. It will just be a binding brand. Everything else has been merged into the Nidecker line. So the boards you know from Flow are now Nidecker. Same thing with the boots. They're now Nidecker. Flow is just their binding line. A lot of weird shapes in here. A lot of carving shapes. So, let's see. So, like, that's the Mellow right there. It's kind of like that traditional fish shape, you know, just powdery. I did not ride that one. Let's see. They've also got some short little fatties coming out there with that whole volume shift technology. Where is it? Where did they put these? This catalog makes no fucking sense. Anyways, where are they? Fucking catalog is huge. Nidecker. Anyways, Kevin and I took some stuff out. Carving boards. They actually have a carving board with a 4-hole pack on it, so soft boot carving. Really, really interesting to see that in the lineup. Let's see what else we got going on here. They did do some tweaks to the bindings. Let's get to that stuff. Those don't matter. Well, anyways, yeah. So that's kind of it. And then IPP Kingdom Collection. Going back towards the more subtle graphics that are sexy as hell. So nothing really changed technologically with the boards. They're still super solid boards. I'm still back IPP really, really hard. And then a lot more companies doing quick change goggles. That's really it. Outerwear is kind of still just outerwear, doing outerwear things. Everyone's trying to like integrate camelbacks and beer pockets into their jackets. It's really weird. Someone just asked about spring break, so I will cover that really quick. They have 2 new shapes this year. Let's see. Where are they? It's, oh, here they are. So they added the Powder Racer, and then there's also the Powder Glider for that, which is still part of their whole powder division. So similar construction to what the Powder Pill was. Slush Slasher is still the same. Spring Break Twin is still the same. Got that going on. And someone asked me a question about, do I ever run into the Good Ride guys at SIA? Yes, I do. Usually I walk up behind James Beastie when he's in an appointment, and I just point at him because I know the people he's talking to and just say things like he has no penis. Probably not a really adult thing to do, but that guy really has no dick. He lost it to Charlie in the Vietnam War. Rob, you did not miss ride. You're just getting in late. I got to that early. I'll touch on that again really quick for you, just because I'm only going to do this live stream for another 5 minutes, because I want to go take a fucking nap. I'm tired as shit. But big thing with ride, as I already said, is the whole pig quiver line. So there's the mountain pig, the twin pig. So, I mean, just to give you an idea, twin pig right there, you know, freestyle focused. War pig, basically. The mountain pig is an alter ego without a split tail. I do want to touch on their bindings because, dear God, their ratchets were so smooth. So smooth. So, bindings are still looking great. Lighter weight. I'm not a fan of an aluminum base plate, but their ratchets, holy fuck, were their ratchets super smooth. Really excited to just see what Kevin has to say about that stuff. Get out and test it. You know, these types of things. And then give you guys a quick look at the boots. There's the Insano. And that's the new Deadbolt right there. So I mean, that's really solid. By and large, overall the trade show, snowboards were stuck in the back corner, and there's granola eating vegans everywhere doing yoga. I mean, no one wants to see a guy in yoga pants, and I had to. It's fucking awful. So, yes, the Ride Timeless is still the goddamn aluminum monster. I did not try the Battalion Surfer, but I am getting one, I believe. Kevin actually has a camel toe waiting for me, so we're getting snow starting tonight. It's supposed to be anywhere between 5 to 7 days of snow up. Did I lose you guys? Are we still there? Okay, so big thing with Nitro. Vibram toe straps for grip, and not just standard Vibram. They got the black Vibram that is military grade, so you will see that on the toe straps. They gave us 3 pairs of bindings yesterday. Kevin has them now. We will probably drop those reviews sometime in the future. I can't tell you when, but it would be in the future. It won't be in the past. So there's that. I will take questions for the next 2 minutes. So fire them off at me, guys. Let's see what you got. Anyone? All right. Well, one of you guys types up a question. I want to show you this. Oh, Ben Bogart model is now offered in a 155 from Dinos. So for all you guys that were bitching and moaning about not having your size being available, they do have it. So there is that. Sorry. Burton is offering more boots in Step-On this year. They were not at the show, and my guy that works for him was super busy, so I didn't really want to bother him with it, but he basically said just give him a list of shit to try, and he'll get it for me in like a week. So yes, I know the camel toe is different from the Surfer. The Surfer I probably will get, if I can get it. I gotta see if the rep has it or if it's gonna come in from Seattle. That should be something I get in like 3-4 weeks, I think. Not too sure. Let's see what else we got going on here. Need to check something out. Did I stop? No, I did not stop by Dragon because I couldn't fucking find them. I think they were off in ski country or something. Yes, Nitro does have a throwback park board in the Quiver lineup. It is the Hazard. I talked about it earlier in this video, so if you're just tuning in, you can always go back and watch that. Basically, it's a 145, super tiny, actually really stiff for its size. I might try to get one of those, but there's other boards that I'd really rather ride, like the Squash, the Quiver, just things that I think more people would be interested in than the Hazard. I think that's going to be a very limited board that they sell. So what else we got going on here? Kevin actually tried the Burton Speed Date and said it was interesting. I don't know what the fuck that means. He was blabbing on and I was staring off into La La Land because I had sunstroke or something. Honestly, I don't even know what that Nitro ASIM is behind me. They just told me I could take it, so I did. have no fucking clue. No clue what that does. But we are going to have a new video series called Can Kevin Carve It? And we're going to set that up completely wrong and make him try to carve it. And it's going to be awesome because he's going to eat shit and die. So that's about it. Let's see. What else? Nope. All right, guys. I gave you everything. Quick video on what I saw at SIA. There'll be a longer format video or a little more in-depth video with all the footage I shot at SIA. I'll put it all together and kind of just do that. I'm going to go pass out and then hopefully ride POW for the next 5 days. So thanks again, guys.